The Mormon Church is a relatively new branch of Christianity, but this hasn't hindered its popularity. The church has millions of followers and owns nearly 2% of Florida, with 1 million acres in continental America. Along with that, it also has a lot of land in countries like the UK, Brazil, Argentina, Canada, and Mexico. This begs the question, is the Mormon Church rich? And if so, where does it get the money for all of this? If you've been keeping up with recent news, then you must have heard that not only does the Mormon Church have a $100 billion hedge fund, but this hedge fund is in the middle of a huge lawsuit. Up till now, the church's hedge fund has been quite secretive. However, this lawsuit has brought it under the spotlight and shows how it functions. You see, unlike the Catholic Church, the Mormon Church does not collect its money with donations. In fact, they use an interesting system called tithing. Curious to learn more? Well then, stick around till the end of this video as we dive into the details about this fascinating lawsuit. Hey guys, welcome back to another project. In today's video, we are going to look at all the details about how the Mormon hedge fund functions and why it is in the middle of a lawsuit. We will look at why it's so secretive, and we'll also look at the process of tithing. Most importantly, we'll look at all the nitty-gritty details about this controversy, and we'll see just how much this hedge fund is worth. Well, that said, let's dive in. The Mormon Church may identify as a branch of Christianity, but it is quite different from many other branches, like the Catholics, and that's not just because of their belief system. As we already mentioned, the Mormon Church doesn't just collect donations. They believe in a system called tithing. This is where members of the church pay 10% of their annual income to the church for development and to support the needy in their community. Their official website describes tithing as one of the commandments that qualifies us by our faith to enter the temple. Tithing develops and tests our faith. By sacrificing to the Lord what we may think we need or want for ourselves, we learn to rely on Him. Now, you must be wondering, how do members make this payment? To answer this, it is left up to donors as to what they constitute as income, and then calculate 10% of it. They can make this payment online, directly to the church's website, where there is a detailed page explaining the whole procedure while offering the option to view donation history. The church today boasts a whopping more than 16 million members. Now, if you multiply this figure with the amount paid in tithing by each member, then this sum adds up, and a hedge fund with $100 billion in investments is produced. Yes, you heard that right. The Mormon Church has a hedge fund with $100 billion in investment. The fund is called Ensign, and it was a huge secret for many years until a whistleblower made a long report and leaked all the information about it. You see, the Mormon Church leaders kept the fund size a secret for years because they feared it would discourage future tithes. The hedge fund has $6 billion worth of shares in just 5 companies: Microsoft, Apple, Google parent Alphabet, Amazon, and Intel. However, investments in commodities forbidden by the church, such as alcohol, caffeine, casinos, etc., are banned. This would also explain the Wall Street Journal's report where Ensign had 0 investments in tobacco titan Philip Morris, gambling giant Caesars Entertainment, and caffeine sellers such as Starbucks and Coca-Cola. Now, before we go into the specifics about the lawsuit, let's quickly go over what a hedge fund is. Hedge funds are pooled funds that employ different strategies in order to get active returns. This might seem similar to a mutual fund, but don't get confused. Hedge funds are quite different from mutual funds because in a mutual fund, the investors don't have control over the money, and they can't withdraw money whenever they want. Only the hedge fund manager controls the money. This means that when the Mormon Church created a hedge fund with all the tithing money This screamed for trouble, and it led to a long overdue lawsuit. The riches of the church are finally being questioned 2 years after the whistleblower alleged the church's unforthcoming $100 billion investment department was using its donations to fund commercial financial endeavors. The lawsuit actually sheds light on the ancient practice of tithing and how these collected funds that were meant to help other members of the community to support the construction of churches, as well as the spread of religion itself, are not being used for this purpose. According to the lawsuit, Ensign, the registered tax-exempt charity, began using the money to build a commercial shopping mall and bail out a private insurance company. The church denies that completely. To make matters more intense, the church is under no legal obligation to publicly report its finances. It doesn't even tell business partners how much money it manages. Things have changed entirely when the whistleblower, David Nielsen, heaped pressure on the church to be more transparent about its finances, something the church had avoided for decades. This whole situation has led to a more open conversation amongst the Mormon community regarding the payment of tithes, where many members have reported feelings of dissatisfaction and choosing to donate to charities over their churches. It also caused James Huntsman, one of the members, to leave the Mormon family and then sue the church for fraud. He is demanding all his tithing money back, and he says that he will donate all the tithing money to groups marginalized by the church. Huntsman is the son of John Huntsman, Sr., the late billionaire businessman and philanthropist, and he claims that his tithing money sums up to a few $1 million, and he wants all of that back. Interestingly, even if the church gives Huntsman all of his money, they will still have billions of dollars left in their hedge fund. I mean, just think about it. It has $100 billion. Even Bill Gates doesn't have this much in his hedge fund. In fact, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation stands at a modest $47 billion. Ensign has also outperformed other popular hedge funds, like that of Harvard University, which stands at $41 billion. Ensign's success also allows it to stand head-to-head with other major hedge funds, like those of Masayoshi Son, which also stands at $100 billion. Well, needless to say, the Mormon hedge fund is a force to be reckoned with, and it's not going down anytime soon. With that said, that's all we have for you guys today. What do you think about the Mormon hedge fund? Do you think it will win the lawsuit? Or do you think it'll lose? Tell us your take in the comments below. Here are some videos we have handpicked that we think you would also enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. We hope that you found this video interesting, and we hope that you learned some fascinating information. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more exciting content from us. Until next time, see you later.
Through federal filings, we confirmed the numbers on 12 funds, each with more than one web domain owned by the LDS Church. The funds control about $31.9 billion in investments. The LDS Church declined to comment for this story, but they pointed us to a May 22nd statement by Presiding Bishop Gerald Kaze. He said, in addition to food and emergency supplies, the church also sets aside funds each year for future needs. These funds are added to church reserves, which include stocks and bonds, taxable businesses, agricultural interests, and commercial and residential property. Compare the LDS Church's $31.9 billion in investments to the Vatican Bank of the Catholic Church, reporting $7.5 billion in assets in 2012, and America's largest Protestant denomination, the Southern Baptist Convention, reported cash and investments of 2014 totaling just over $20 million.